King Trick here, Nordic Confederacy. Yeah, it's King Trick here, Nordic Confederacy. Good afternoon, Kingdom. And I titled this little fireside chat, The Constitution, K-H-A-N, being King of the Nordic Confederacy, K-H-A-N. And I got the Constitution of the United States of America right in my hand, but I'm in agreement with Obama about this being a living document. And I'm going to be making some amendments and coming up with the Constitution, K-H-A-N, in the near future here, and as well as coming up with the new Choom Gang in Hawaii, hopefully get Tulsi Gabbard and Axelrod on board with the new Choom Gang out of Hawaii. I'm working on it. So I wanted to make that announcement of many people associated with the kingdom, small K-I-N-G, capital D-U-M-B, have been asking me about this, and it's in the working as we speak. So I'm excited about that. Got my guilt-free loincloth as usual. I always have it with me. I often wear it around. It just reminds me to continue to be guilt-free. And I have my bear claw scepter, represents the Nordic Confederacy. I want to start off one of the areas that I've been concentrating on is getting to the bottom of what's going on with the Finnish Mongols, who are part of the Nordic Confederacy. And I want to start off with a scripture from Proverbs 25:2. It is the glory of God to conceal a thing, but the honor of kings is to search out a matter. And since I'm a king, I have to search out matters. And there's a big brouhaha, if you will, going on in the Nordic Confederacy with the Finnish Mongols. And I'm specifically talking about Apache Man. He's in a war, okay? And there's many people in the Nordic Confederacy who love Apache Man, okay? He doesn't have a guilt-free loincloth yet, but we're trying to get him one. But this is what's going on. He's being attacked indirectly through a cabal, if you will. I'm not saying the Minnesota Cream Pie is behind it, and I'm not saying he isn't. We don't know. But there's two characters going after the Apache Man, and one of them is known as the Samboozler, okay? And the Samboozler is an expert, if you will, at bamboozling. There's no one better in the Nordic Confederacy at bamboozling like the Samboozler, okay? And he's really putting out some stuff these days. I heard on the grapevine he's on his way to a UFC title, a generalship, and to be the founder of the Fiji Discipleship Center. I think the Samboozler is trying to bamboozle a lot of people, okay? Because that's what he does. I think he's Samboozled himself. And the king wants to let the Apache Man know, chop wood, carry water for 3 years. Chop wood, carry water for 3 years. And in that process, you're going to be able to handle this Samboozler, who's the master of bamboozling, and he's even bamboozled himself. And I'm a king. I know about this stuff, right? So there's another character going after the Apache Man who's even more venial and diabolical at the level of Irene O'Hara, the greatest porn star to ever come out of L.A., and the Minnesota cream pie. And this person, this he, she, this they, is Samantha the Man Gal. Okay? Part of the Finnish Mongols, but a woke member of the Finnish Mongols known as Samantha the Man Gal, who is in league with the daughter diddling daddy of Moon Snake Beach. Okay? And this is controversial stuff. And the Apache man's got to fight this tooth and nail. He's got to try to overturn this diabolical, destructive move made at the Finnish Mongols. And anyone can do it, it's the Apache man. I believe in him. But this man gal and this daughter diddling daddy of Moon Snake Beach are really going after the Apache man. Okay? So our hopes and our prayers from everyone in the Nordic Confederacy is with the Apache man. The Eskimo Mafia is for him. The whole staff from All Too Real's media is for him. Hong Kong Honky, Queen Candid, Podfather, Sea Island Creole, they're all in his corner, praying for him. It's tough, especially if the Minnesota cream pie's behind this, with his influence from Jenny the One-Legged German Leprechaun. This is spiritual warfare, I think. I've heard about it from my spiritual roundtable. They call this stuff spiritual warfare. I'm not sure, but I can tell you this. If Samantha the Man Gal is teamed up with the Minnesota Cream Pie and Blinky Barood, the Apache man's in for a war. I can tell you that right now. These Dirty Gary Prick Vicious and the crew did some investigations of that crew, sinvestigations, and it ain't pretty, by the way. So, it isn't affecting the Nordic Confederacy, but let's just say we're aware of it because we've got to stamp this out before it causes problems. I can tell you that right now. So, my opinion is that Dick Cheney wanted Liz to be her son, and that's what's going on there. Now they're both voting for Kamalama Ding Dong. That shouldn't surprise a lot of Republicans. I said it years ago to Dirty Gary, and he said it to the Minnesota Cream Pie, who couldn't believe it. But the Cream Pie's slow on the uptake. That neocon, he's in with Kamalama Ding Dong. We know that, okay? And we know that K.R. Starmer is K.R. Stalin. And that's right from Lloyd Durong, the Black Pope, who has a problem with Martin Luther from Montana, by the way. But we'll figure it out. I got one thing to say to Samantha the Man Gal and the daughter diddling daddy from Moon Snake Beach. Police be upon you. Okay? You gotta stand behind the men in blue. That's all I got to say. So, the Sam Boozler, UFC Championship, Generalship, the Fiji Discipleship Center, and the Choom Gang, Axelrod's got to get Tulsi off the Quiet Skies program from the TSA. I can tell the TSA that Tulsi isn't a threat, just saying. So it's a glory of kings to search out these matters, and I'm searching them out. Okay? Another thing about the Sam Boozler, he'll fleece the flock. Okay? That guy will fleece the flock and act like he's doing them a favor. Okay? Sounds like Kenneth Copeland or Creflo Dollar to me. I don't know. I got a Bible right here. I read the good book. That's a big Bible. So I know what I'm talking about. I'm not an expert like Hannibal Lecturer who wears that t-shirt, I will not silence my lambs. So, one more thing I want to talk about Samantha, the Man Gal. If you're listening, Samantha the Mangale, you need to look at Mephibosheth and Samuel. That was the disabled grandson of Saul. And you need to think really clearly of not becoming like the Minnesota cream pie, who many of the holy men in the Nordic Confederacy, they don't call him Mephibosheth, they call him Mephibosheth for brains. And Sam Boozler, you don't want to be like the cream pie and be called Mephibosheth for brains, which is in 2 Samuel. I hope the Apache man can win this war. I'm really hoping for him. I really am. But he's going against some hardcore people in the state of Minnesota. Don't kid yourself. That's what's going on. And Dirty Gary did a lot of investigations, so he knows. You know, you ever think about the Minnesota cream pie and Chris Christie and Krispy Kreme donuts? You need to. I think the cream pie is like 5'3", 600 pounds. He's on like 20 pharmaceuticals. It's crazy stuff over there in the land of the Minnesota cream pie. Sandy Reilly, the great woke karate master, hanging out with Samantha the Finnish Mangale. It ain't pretty, okay? And Dirty Gary's investigations into the Hyde Park area with Bland Clucker from some little church there, some vineyard church, and Sabrina Joyless Queen and Dave Pansy. That's a whole nother operation that Dirty Gary was on with Prick Vicious, checking out the south side of Chicago. And Queen Candid approved of it, by the way. So, we don't know. I'm looking into this thing. The book of Proverbs, my spiritual roundtable, told me to look into this thing with the Apache man and the Sam Boozler and Samantha the Finnish Mangale and the Dodder Diddlin' Daddy. And Lot was a Dodder Diddlin' Daddy in the book of Genesis, and Abram the Hebrew had to save him. It's kind of like Prick Vicious saving the Finnish Mongols and King Trick doing his part. So, I don't know what to say about this. Chief Little will have a lot to say about it, and he'll be on the channel talking about it. Just so you know. The Blinky Barood and the cream pie are totally against the Nordic Confederacy and the Constitution, K-H-A-N. Okay? They probably want to be in the Choom Gang, the new Choom Gang out of Hawaii. I ain't sure yet. All bets on the table. But I can tell you this, K.R. Stalin, the guy leading England right now, is against free speech. And he wants to drag us out of the Yukon and get us in trouble for exercising our right to free speech. And I don't like K.R. My Nazi alarm goes off. Okay? And I'm talking I.G. Farben, and I'm talking Scarenzi and the crew. Just so you know. I'm a king. I have to look into all of this. So Trick Lee's going to be coming on and talking about some exciting stuff going on in the Seattle area. I'm finally getting that entertainer out of Northwest Montana and getting him back where he belongs, to Seattle, to hang out with the Hong Kong honky. I don't mind these entertainment types, but I'm a king and I got to keep my nose to the grindstone when it comes to serious issues, especially with World War III upon us and Putin kissing the Koran. Okay? It's a strange world we live in right now. But I can tell you this, the Minnesota cream pie took over the Minnesota steamroller, and Irene O'Hara, the greatest porn star to ever come out of LA, better than Barbara Dare, right up there with Ilsa Strix, had her way with that steamroller cream pie, and Sandy Reilly came out of that whole mess. And that's an ugly situation if I've ever seen one. So I'm glad I came on today to talk about what's going on with the Constitution, K-H-A-N, the Finnish Mongols, and the work we're trying to do and retrieve the Apache man from the Samboozler, and Samantha, the Finnish Mangal. Different than a Finnish Mongol or a Finnish Mongol. Okay? And what can we do? We're in the fight. And my spiritual roundtable, Hannibal Lecturer, Saint Ann, the whole crew, our Martin Luther, our waging war, always quoting the Bible to me. I don't know what to think about all this Bible stuff, but I'm a king. I have to look into it, so I'm looking into it. King Trick, Nordic Confederacy, on the job as usual. It's going great in the Confederacy. Going great. All kinds of great stuff happening. Krog logs, ate wild game meats, it ain't your daddy's wiener. Just a lot of hiking and fishing and trapping and playing, playing with the Eskimo kids. It's good. One thing I would say to the Apache man is you have to have Mussy pun da little chulin, Sea Island Creole. You must become like a little chulin. That's Sea Island Creole for children. And you got to chop wood and carry water and hook up with the Finnish Sinatra 1.0 and get a grip on reality. Because many in the Nordic Confederacy who are reforming the Constitution aren't buying what the Samboozler is saying. They're just not buying it. King Trick, Nordic Confederacy. Over and out.